Hi, welcome to Corona Del Mar Media Arts, coming to you live, broadcasting live from Costa Mesa, California. There is quite a disparity there, but that's because of the current quarantine situation. Here we go. This is a lesson how to create an Anthony Zanono style collage in a website or an app called PhotoPea. Let me explain. This is my cat, Danny. I took this picture about 8 years ago. And I think I was using him as a test subject for a portrait. Okay, here we go. This lesson assumes that you know how to get a picture from your camera or phone onto your desktop or onto your computer somehow. Do you have to use a picture of your own? No, you could use a screenshot from a website somewhere. I don't care. Either way, start with something. I'm using a picture that I took, and this is a picture of my cat, who I love. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create something similar to this. This was just a test run. This is actually the second video I've made. The first one was 22 minutes long, and so now I'm going to try and make one that's 10 minutes long, just for you. Here we go. Anthony Zanonos. If you remember in my class, we took magazines and we cut them out, kind of exacting, very, very close to the edge of our subjects, like you see with this bald guy here. And we cut it out and pasted it on top of construction paper. So we're going to do that digitally now. I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to type in PhotoPea. And you can see my caps lock is down. Let's fix that. PhotoPea, online photo editor. It's nice. You don't even have to log in, which is really nice. The not nice thing is their ads. Look at that ad. I actually have some very advanced ad blocking software here. I'm going to take Chrome and I'm going to simply click and drag it to the right so I don't have to look at that ad anymore. Okay, perfect. Next thing I'm going to do is we're going to create something from our computer. I could create a new blank project. That's fine. It's easier, I think, to open something from the computer. It's now asking me for things on my desktop. That's great because that's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to choose the picture of my cat, which is 7494. I chose this picture of the bull, but I had a really hard time working with this red color. I took this at the OC Fair, the world's largest steer exhibition. And I didn't quite like how it turned out. So I'm going to use this. Click open. So I have now chosen a photo from my desktop. And look at Danny. This is a Nebelung cat. He's so cute. And also I will point out that we rescued him. So at some point he was an alley cat or a feral cat, and some organization found him, took him and clipped his ear. You can see his little clipped ear here. This is a signal that he is fixed. Okay, let's move on. He's also he's gray here. He's much more brown now in his old age. And so I find that interesting, in that Mr. Zebarth started out with brown hair and he's turning grayer with his old age. So that's my joke for the lesson. That's my dad joke. All right, we're going to use a tool here, and it's called the polygonal lasso tool. This is the lasso select. I'm going to show you how this works first. If I just click and drag, it will make this kind of funky selection. I'm going to go to my point of creation here for the selection, the start point, to finish that loop. Okay, I don't want to create a loose selection because I'm using a mouse, and these are bad at loose selections. I need like a Wacom tablet for that. Most of you probably don't have that. Instead of using this lasso select, I'm going to click and hold on it. Click and hold. I'm going to choose polygonal lasso. Okay. And now I'm going to create a new selection. So I'll just click. Because my cat is out of the frame, I'm going to start out of the frame too. So we'll start down here. Click once. And you know what? This is a bad example. I need to go into the select menu and choose deselect, because I think with this app, it's a little different than with Photoshop. Photoshop will automatically deselect. For this example, you don't have to do it, but I chose deselect. Also, Control Plus works. I'm going to do Control Plus or Command Plus if you're on a Mac. So that zoomed in. Command minus to zoom out. So you can zoom in a lot. Control Plus, whoops, Command Plus, Command Plus, Plus, Plus. And then you can hold on the space bar and drag around the canvas. I don't want to do that though because it's just too much work. We're just going to zoom out. Control minus or Command minus. I'm also going to make a little bit of an artistic decision, executive decision here to ignore some of his whiskers and focus on his ear hair because it's kind of interesting here. And that's what I did if you look at my example. Like, I really like how I did these little spikes. We're doing 2 layers of selecting here, so put your seatbelt on. Okay, I'm going to click once, and that creates an anchor with which I can click a second time. To create a second anchor, I'm going to click a third time. I'm going to ignore this first whisker because I don't know, I don't want to do it. I didn't like how it turned out in the first picture. And now I'm going to try and purposely make like kind of a spiky selection. Another spiky selection for this little hair. He is very furry. I mean, right now he has like a crazy mane. Notice I am using also my artistic license to choose how wide of a border around the cat. So, if you remember, guys, my the icon lesson we did, the logo lesson, I used a cat too. I might have used this cat. I'm going to kind of highlight his weird ear. I shouldn't say weird. It's just unique, guys. Okay. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to use this whisker too. That's fun. And, you know, I have a very high resolution photo, but the selection I'm doing is pretty low res. So I'm just kind of ignoring a few of them. I could spend more time, but it's not that fun to watch me do this. So I'm just going to kind of bust this out. Even there, I'll just boom. Okay. Back up, check your posture. Okay, mine wasn't so hot. And this is very important. Notice I don't want to go like this because it's going to cut off all this stuff here. So I'm going to go to this corner. And then a big difference between PhotoPea and Photoshop is that in Photoshop, it shows you a little circle that you're closing the loop. It's not going to do this here. So you just have to get really close to it and click. And now you have a selection. This is good. The problem is the cat is selected. So if we were to continue like this, the cat would get blocked out. Sometimes that's a cool effect, but in this case, I'm really just interested in getting rid of the background. So I'm going to choose my select menu, just like in Photoshop, guys. Select, and we're going to select the inverse selection. So instead of the cat being selected, it's going to select the background. Okay, cool. Now I will look at my layers window. And if you don't have the layers window open, you should. It's under the window menu. But at the bottom of the layers window, I'm going to come to the bottom here and choose this half moon icon. This will allow me to select the first, oh man, what's it called in Photoshop? This is called a layer effect. Layer something, I forget. Layer, no, because that's layer effects. Adjustment layer, new adjustment layer. Thank you. This is an adjustment layer, guys. It's been a while. We're going to choose color fill. So that outside area that's selected, we're going to pick a different color. Look at this red. It's kind of cool. I do kind of want to pick a different one, though. I want that purple to be this color. So this is the default PhotoPea red, I guess. In order to change that red, I'm going to double click on this swatch here, this color. And I'll click once here. And this is the effect. I'm going to choose a purple, so I'll just come down a little bit. I'm going to desaturate it. That's like pure purple. I'm going to make it about as saturated as my blue is there in the background. Click OK. Oh, Danny. Oh, Danny. Look at my cat. Look at this mane. Okay. One more layer because 2 colors is always better. Here we go. I'm going to choose the polygonal lasso tool, and we'll just kind of follow the same path. I'm going to start from the outside of my canvas. This is going to be a much rougher selection. Sometimes wider, sometimes thinner. Sometimes I will show off the pointy ears. Sometimes I won't, because he doesn't have pointy ears in some spots. Oh, Danny, I'm sorry. Danny, do you miss your ear? Okay. I'm just going to totally ignore this part. I'm going to come in a little bit this part. Okay, remember I got to go around this corner, so I got to make an anchor here. And then to close it, you got to get close to that end point, kind of the middle of that crosshair to end the selection. Beautiful. I've now made my second selection. I failed to go into the select menu, so don't make the same mistake I did. The select menu is important. Choose the inverse, so you're selecting the background. This time around, we're going to create an adjustment layer and a color fill, same thing. Instead of red, I'm going to choose a yellowish color. So I'm going to pick on this strip of hues. This is a yellowish hue. And like, for example, this is kind of too mustardy. Mustard has a little bit of, what is that? Has a little bit of green in the yellow. So we're going to move away from the mustard. I'm going to drag more towards the bottom here. And then desaturate the yellow. So kind of come off the corner, because before it was like a pure yellow. This is so fun. Look at Danny. It's so cute. If you want to, you can add some text with the text tool. I'm not going to do that, though. I think you guys are done. Here we go. It's time to download a file, export a file, just like from Photoshop. To turn this in, we're going to go into the File menu. Choose Export As. And I'm going to choose JPEG. JPEG. This is where you might want to resize it. So the easiest way to resize it would be to make not a pixel size, but a percentage. I'll choose like 33%. And ideally, you're making both 33 height and width. There's a chain here. I'm not sure. One of them is off, and that's like off right now. That's on. I don't know. Either way, make it a little bit smaller. You don't need it to be quite so big unless you're going to print it. I'm making mine a 33% of the original size, and that is both on the height and width. From here, I'll click Save, and it will, boom, download that file. So in the lower left of Chrome, I can come down here, and it's likely in your Downloads folder, but you can choose this little arrow and select Show in Finder, or it'll say, I think it says Show in Explorer on a PC. I hope you like this. This is a great A+ project if you're in my class. This is also a good, just fun thing to do. Look at New York Times lately. They're doing a lot of collage like this, digital collage, I'm sure. And thank you to Anthony Zanonos and PhotoPea for these free tools here and inspiration. I hope this helps you, and I will talk to you all later. I'm going to stop this.